Why hello there, and welcome back to another Demajen React. We haven't done one of these in God knows how long, actually. A lot's probably changed with my setup and stuff since I last did one of these. And I must be honest, I have not played an awful lot of Final Fantasy XIV recently. I've had other games that I've been playing quite heavily, mostly Monster Hunter, but other bits and pieces as well. But also I've been working a lot. I've done a lot of teaching in several different schools over the last however long it's been since the last Final Fantasy patch. 5.2 is coming up soon, in like 3 weeks or something. Isn't it the 18th of February? I don't even know. That's how out of touch I am. I know that the live letter was today. And I know that umbrellas are a thing. And that's basically as much as I've seen because I was browsing through Twitter on the bus home. But I do know that there's a trailer. I've pulled up the trailer. I'm now going to watch the trailer. I'm going to react to the trailer. And undoubtedly every single thing in here, apart from maybe umbrellas, if they happen to be mentioned, is going to be a surprise to me. Because I literally have not had the chance to follow anything on this recently. There's probably a load of information. I know the special site is out and so on and has been for a while. I literally am not caught up at all. Which, in a way, is good because this is going to be pure reaction. It's not like, oh, he's watched this before so he knows what's coming up. It's like, nope, I have no knowledge. Let's kick this off and see what it's all about. Page 16. Wow. That's Ruby Weapon, I think. Whoa, that's really loud. So Ruby is the new...
It was my hand that kindled
Sorry.
these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further.
That's Gaius, isn't it? But wasn't that Raban speaking? Because that's not Raban's normal voice.
In such vessels did the ancients preserve concepts.
That's the new dungeon? I like this piece of music a lot.
Forms to be drawn upon in
A boat?
the act of creation.
A massive... Wait, that's one of the massive jellyfish from 11, isn't it? This is Eden? I think that's the new Eden. That's... What? What? That's Ifrit from 15, or close to it. That was Garuda.
Research suggests soul and mind share a fragile yet profound bond. Might it not be possible for an event to leave such a deep imprint
Wait,
on
what?
the soul that it could be perceived eons later?
Hold on, I'm gonna have to watch this again.
The light! It's too much for
That's Gaia. That's
In which
knackered.
case, none of this is mere coincidence.
I've been too distracted by the music. Sid!
By the will
No!
of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass.
Those are some lips. Oh, the Exarch struck.
512.
Emmett Selk, how very unlike you to err so gravely.
What? 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 That's Dalamud, right? No, sorry, I'm going to have to watch it again. People have moaned at me when I've done this before. You know, going through and stopping and start. Admittedly, they normally moan if I just do that as opposed to watching it first for pure reaction. There's so much stuff in that trailer. Here we go again, folks. Right, so this is Ruby Weapon, who is the... I'm guessing the Special Trials series for this expansion. So we'll have Ruby, Emerald, and so on and so forth. So this is back on the source. This is what the Galleons are doing and up to.
It was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to...
Yeah, see, that's... I think that's Gaius talking. It just so happens to be at the same time as Raban's talking in this cutscene. Because Raban, unless they've changed his voice actor, which they might have done, he's got a much deeper northern voice. He sounds a bit more like this. I spent a lot of time in the north of England, right? But that's definitely kind of Gaius talking, I believe. Don't know who this is, but she's got cool hair. That's a really shallow observation. I'm very sorry. But I literally know nothing about her. I'm assuming we've seen her in the Gaius cutscenes before with the Shadowhunter stuff, but it's been a while since he's really been part of the story.
Them to spread any further.
Slicey. Ah, balls. So this is Thancred. That's us, isn't it? Or our stand-in. Yeah, the gang's all there. So this is the continuation of the MSQ, I'm assuming.
In such vessels did the ancients preserve concepts.
So that is... Hold on. That sounded like Emmett. It can't be Emmett. Well, it could be Emmett, technically. But he's talking about the creation of concepts, the templates that the Amorosians had. And I talked about that in detail in, what was it, like episode 46, 7 or something? Because I did all of the quests in my playthrough of Amarot and the ancients in the depths, because I was so fascinated by their culture. That was the one key series of side quests that I actually did in detail. I did a lot of them outside of recording, but I was so interested in the ancients and their way of life. Let's listen to this bit.
In such vessels did the ancients preserve concepts.
So it strikes me that this dungeon, which is the other Anidir, or Anida, or however you pronounce it, this is the one that is outside of Emmett Selk's recreation of the city. So you can see the seabed has been revealed. So you've got all the coral and stuff, and we're going to have leeches. Yay! But also one of these floaty boys, whatever they are. Now that is a Kikran, or however you pronounce it. I've always pronounced it Kikran. I imagine that's not how you're supposed to pronounce it. They are, I believe, the beast tribe for this patch. And they are in the wood, the name of which I've forgotten. Salika Wood? Rak'Tika Greatwood. Yes, Salika Wood was also from Final Fantasy XII, I think. The Rak'Tika Greatwood, I believe, is their base of operations.
Ideal form.
I haven't got a clue what this is. It looks like fishing. Oh, haven't I heard mention of a new fishing ferry somewhere? Mind you, it's got a zone line, I think. There. So I don't know. It's pretty, however. It's very pretty. My best friend, when we played Final Fantasy XI, he loved the ferry from Selbina to Mara, or Mora, however you pronounced it, and spent an awful lot of time there trying not to fish up the Kraken. What was it called? I'll put it up on screen because I can't remember. Sea Horror? Something like that. The giant Kraken that you could accidentally fish up on the ferry. This looks like it could be something along those lines, which I think a lot of people would quite like. I do quite like the fishing in 14. I haven't done a huge amount of it, but I like it in theory.
Wants to be drawn upon in the act.
That was somebody firing a gun, a cannon, a bazooka of some kind. And this looks like, what's it called? The place that was for the relics last time. The Isle of Val. Eureka. Is it? Again, I don't know. I haven't looked anything up. But that looks like Eureka. But aren't they turning that into a crafting and gathering only zone? Mind you, this is a gatherer's outfit. Isn't this a miner's outfit with the little lantern and stuff? So are they giving gatherers kind of combat options in this place? Or maybe this is a new fashioned mining option. Pickaxe is too slow? Use a bazooka. Don't know.
In the act of creation.
Now that... Isn't that the Jailer of Love? Or one of the jailers from wherever it was in 11? Ah! I was going to sneeze and now I'm not. Yeah, I think that's one of the jailers from Final Fantasy XI's Change of Promethea expansion. I think that's right. It looks right. It also looks like I'm slightly out of sync with the audio on my monitor. I'll sync that up later. This is going well. Yeah, I think that's one of the jailers. I'm assuming that's a dungeon boss. Square arena. Not a circular one. Square arena. I'm liking the water effect on these hands. That's cool. Right, this is Gaia. Terra? Gaia. The one with the hammer that... What's his face? Nomura? Designed for the raid. Who is also the... Oh, God, it's been so long. The counterpart to Minfilia. So this is all the Eden stuff. That's on the back of Eden. This is a lot of doves, birds. You can't quite see what the boss actually is. But there's a lot of purple and a lot of white, so kind of positive and negative, or light and darkness. Right, that's clearly Ramuh's head. But he's a centaur. A centaur? Centaur? Depending on if you're British or American. So we've got Ramuh's head and upper body on centaur legs. So kind of a cross between Ixion and Ramuh. With wings, because why not? We do have Ixion in 14, don't we? He's a fate in the Stormblood zones. So this is where the Warrior of Light is drawing her inspiration for this lightning-themed boss from. And then we've got Garuda, who looks very Garuda-esque, actually. Slightly weird wings, to be fair. In fact, more wings than previous, but she looks mostly the same. They've covered her up a bit. She's undergone a little bit of reduction by the look of her. And then this reminds me a lot of Ifrit from Final Fantasy 15 in terms of his general humanoid appearance. But just looking at his head now, he looks like he's got a kind of skull face and mask. But there, he's got the massive horns. And again, not quite the goat legs of 15's version. But yeah, looks like we're fighting both of them in that fight.
FFXIV's research suggests soul and mind share a fragile yet profound bond. Might it not be possible for an
Well, I'm reasonably certain it's not just me that thinks that looks an awful lot like Emmett Selk. But in the background, I'll come back to that.
possible for an event to leave such a deep imprint upon the soul that it could be perceived eons later?
So that implies that we are going to get something to do with Emmett and the Warrior of Light, that part of our soul that Emmett recognizes. It implies that we're going to get more backstory on whatever that linking event was, but also the potential that Emmett is going to show up in much the same way as Ardbert did for us, which is very interesting. We've also got this mural on the wall here, which I'm assuming is going to be at the end of a dungeon, but also we've got the Rak'Tika guards here. So this looks like it might be from the same series of tunnels as the dungeon which we had that big reveal at the end of, and this is another thing to do with that. I think there's a closer up version of this later on, because it's a beautiful scene, great cinematography on this. But it's like I don't really know what this is that the framing is funneling us up to.
Yet profound bond. Might it not be possible for an event to leave such a deep imprint upon the soul?
And I'm not entirely sure why they're here. They're the Numo from the dungeon? From 5.1, aren't they?
But it could be perceived eons later.
Storm's coming in.
The light!
Right, yeah, that's Ultimate Philia. What is she called? What's her title? And why can I not remember it? There's something of darkness. Oh god, I'm really frustrated now. I'm actually going to look this up. Oracle of Darkness. Thank you, Google. Yeah. So whilst Minfilia is the Oracle of Light, responds to the mouthpiece of Hydaelyn, Gaia, and it is Gaia. I double checked. The Oracle of Darkness. So the mouthpiece potentially for Zodiac. Maybe. She's clearly got some fancy powers. Of the birds we saw earlier in the previous fight. So maybe she's what initiates it. Maybe it's her power that they're fighting. Or maybe just testing her.
It's too much for her to bear!
Right, here we've got a lot of the ancients, the Amarotians. That looks a lot like Arcadia from Final Fantasy XII. Well, obviously it's not. It's, I'm assuming, the Imperial capital of Garlemald, because they've got the banner up. But it looks a lot like Arcadia. Unless it is Arcadia, because Arcadia is under Imperial rule, isn't it? In 14's version of the mythos. Now, what on earth is this? Is that... Because this looks a lot like... You may or may not have watched the trailer for the next WoW expansion, Shadowlands. But this sky up here looks a lot like the shattered sky that Sylvanas stands under above Icecrown Citadel. If you are not familiar with World of Warcraft story, that will mean nothing to you. But to me, it looks like the sky is either shattering or is full of constellations. These things here remind me of kind of star constellations, especially the one over to the far right, which I can't point out because my hand will disappear. I think this is related to the dungeon, isn't it? Because I think this is this lamppost here. It reminds me of the... Maybe this is the early days of the cataclysm that befell the ancients, where things are breaking up. It's tying in terms of cinematography to what Istola is discovering. So maybe she's looking into the past.
In which case, none of...
I don't think I saw this shot in as much detail earlier, but yeah, this definitely... Oh, unless this is Ronka. This could be the fall of Ronka, the civilization that we have got, that we got our armor from in 5.0, the first kind of set of tombstone armor we could get.
This is mere coincidence.
But Sid's with us there. That's Sid, isn't it? He's got his gunblade. So that looks maybe like that's in Garlemald. And these are... Those are Hrothgar. So maybe this is something to do with that. Because those are Galleon lanterns and Galleon buildings. Again, they're showing us tiny, tiny glimpses of things, which are probably completely unrelated. That's not Oddbert. That is the guy that was teased. That's the warrior of... I think this is Elidibus's Warrior of Lights that was teased right at the end of the main 5.0 MSQ. I think that's when he was teased. Because the others can see him. They couldn't see Ardbert. It was just us. So I think this is the new guy. The Urianger, Alphino, Alice, and Istola in the background are looking at. They can clearly see him. We're not just looking at something random. Not a clue. Possibly a visual representation of Hydaelyn. In some ways looks like a very elaborate version of the kind of sprites that we have seen. The elemental sprites, I mean. But yeah, certainly some kind of deific figure in terms of the ornamentation of the headdress, the arms, the shining bright white. Instance battle with Sid. I think that's again in... I was going to say that was Garlemald because of the stuff here. But this stuff over to the left is that breaking down stuff that I thought was potentially Ronka. So I haven't got a clue what this is. It's very cool looking. It reminds me a little bit, actually, of the stuff that they put into Diablo 3, where they kind of merge the different zones together. I feel like I should know who that is. But I don't. I think I should do. I think she... Is she the person from the the 24-man raids for the last expansion? Is she part of the theatre stuff? Maybe. Maybe she's one of the Scions? Or the students of Baldician? Right, this is our Warrior of Light standing, holding some kind of etheric structure, etherite? It looks like some kind of Allegan stuff, or maybe Ronkan stuff, since they seem to be kind of analogous on the first. Clearly some kind of memory. Right, that's, again, Cid and us, and I think that blonde-haired Ara as part of this Galleon solo instance. Cid certainly seems to be suffering there. I hope they're not going to kill Cid off. From what we know of the future of our realm, you know, based on the stuff that we find out in the twinning, Cid does eventually die, but we don't find out how and why, I believe.
Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass.
Slight evil look. Coming in to save Cid. Those are a ridiculous pair of lips that Tetsuya Nomura has drawn on her. This is our friend and Lord and Sa- But wait, hold on. Hold on. That's an ancient running past us there. So we've got Xenos, but we've also got ancients. So again, we've got things meshing together. Xenos is on the first, but Xenos can now travel between worlds. No, Xenos is on the source, rather, but he can now travel between worlds because he's got the information from Elidibus. So maybe Xenos has come to join us on the first. Maybe we'll strand him there so we can get rid of his annoying ass. Also, he's got a new outfit on. The Exarch is in pain. I assume something is disrupting his connection to the Crystal Tower. And that's Dalamud. Are they going to drop a second Dalamud? No. They wouldn't drop a second Dalamud on us. But why is there a Dalamud there? This must be a flashback of some kind, right? Unless the Galleons have been stupid enough to create another one. Yeah.
5 out of 12.
Right, Alphino is surprised by something. That's a Vieira. Now I'm come to think of it. Ah, but wait, these are the meteors. These are the meteors that we've seen from Heidelin's Seer He Listen Think cutscene right from the start, which of course has now been tied into the mythology of the past of the Sundering and so on and so forth. So is this Heidelin? Does she have bunny ears? So is this must all be tied into the Echo, then. Things that we are living and re-experiencing that Xenos can now experience because of his fake Echo, his artificial Echo. So this is the ending of the final days of Amarant. But also
so gravely.
Emmett Selk, so very unlike you to err so gravely, to make such a big mistake. Somebody's telling him off. Somebody's chiding him for making a mistake. So again, is this something that Emmett Selk did in the past? Way back at the start? questions. Many questions. So many questions that I've managed to make this a 30-minute video, when actually I just intended to react to the trailer. Typical me. Typical me. I think that's going to do it for my thoughts, because we've only got, 2 weeks. 2 weeks to wait. I think it's the 18th of February that this patch comes out on. I'm going to need to go and get a little bit more gear for my Dark Knight, I think. I've really not had much opportunity to play, and therefore my gear probably might not meet the requirements for the item level for the dungeon. That would suck. That would be really kind of positive content, wouldn't it? Obviously, I will be doing another section of my Final Fantasy XIV narrative experience when patch 5.2 comes out. It will actually be coming out during my half-term holiday, which means that I will actually be able to play it without having to worry about, I've got to go to work tomorrow, and so on and so forth. But yeah, lots and lots of questions there. If you have any questions of your own from the trailer, drop them below. If you know the answer to some of my kind of systems and mechanics related questions, also drop those below. Don't post any spoilers though. Don't be dicks about spoilers. I don't want anything story related spoiled for me. Although that is, of course, one of the perils of being on the internet and a YouTuber and that kind of jazz. But yeah, awful lot of stuff in I do like that design. Awful lot of stuff in this. For example, if you know what this is, I don't mind, systems and mechanics wise, but don't spoil anything story related. That would suck. There's a lot of stuff in this trailer. An awful lot of stuff. Considering it's only 3 minutes long, I've managed to talk about it for 30. That's a packed trailer. If you've enjoyed the video, do please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy XIV content coming very, very soon indeed. Thank you all very much for watching. Catch you all in the next one. Until then, I'm going to go and have some tea because I only just got back from work. Ta-ta! Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.